bringing you the latest news from Lubbock High Athletics. This is the Westerner Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the high school fan zone on 100.7 The Score, TSportsNetwork.com, and the 107 The Score mobile app, brought to you by our friends at Happy State Bank. Thank you for joining us as we go into the Westerner fan zone, shining a light on Lubbock High athletics. And tonight we get the coordinators. We have Emilio Garcia and Caden Fregia in with us. And gentlemen, you guys have been on before, but welcome back and thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
This is obviously kind of a recap episode for Lubbock High football tonight, and certainly excited to do that. Clint Scott in for Randy Rosetta. He'll be back in next week. But Caden, let's start with you. First time since 1975, if I have this right, to win 3 games in a row. You guys are trying to build things over in Lubbock High. When you look at some of the positive things that you guys did this year, what stands out?
I think off the bat, just what you said, that 3-game win streak, that was a pretty good accomplishment for our guys. I think the elephant in the room, though, towards the end of the year was that we didn't want that to be our peak. And, with some of the outcomes we had, it ended up being like that. But I think that's kind of the disappointment and that sour taste we have in our mouth is that we felt like we didn't reach our full potential as the season went along.
Is that something that you guys talked to the guys about? Like, hey, didn't end the way we wanted it to, but let this drive you maybe for next season? For sure.
I think that's exactly the approach that we had on it. Hopefully we had towards the end of the season, we did have a lot of guys that kept battling and they worked hard and they did a great job of buying into what we're trying to accomplish. But I think that's definitely going to be something that's going to motivate us to do even better next year.
Emilio, I'll ask you the same thing. When you're looking at what stood out this season and what you guys did well, what jumped off the page to you?
I think Coach Fregia said it best. That 3-game winning streak kind of got us on a high note, and then we got into district, and we were hoping that it would propel us to be competitive each and every week, and we had some flashes. We had a lot of guys step up, a lot of youth get a lot of playing time this year, and that's kind of what excites me about this offseason and going into the year next year is a lot of student athletes got a lot of reps and a lot of playing time that we hope that we can continue to grow and develop.
You guys in the season, obviously not the way that you want to, but it is against Coronado. And, district shifting around every couple of years. Last 2 years, Lubbock High didn't get to play Coronado or Monterey. This year you had both of those games back. Were you glad to have those back on the schedule and have that 806 rivalry on the schedule?
Absolutely. Anytime that you get to play a crosstown rival and play individuals that it's always fun. It adds an extra element to the preparation. Definitely more excitement on game day. I know myself, graduating from Lubbock High, it did have a little bit more emphasis for me in preparing, but at the end of the day, it was all in good fun, and it was great competing against both of those teams.
I'll start here just real quick as we just take a quick look at that Coronado game and recap it. We'll start on the offensive side. What did you see out of that game?
Well, the focus going into the game that I told the guys was I wanted to end the year how we started it, and that was right in our run game. And Braden Dunkerson did a great job that day, finishing with 163 yards on the ground. And so it really just helped us meet the goal that we set that we wanted to do, was to run the ball. We had a couple of missed opportunities where I think our passing game could have complemented the run game a little bit more, but for the most part, we're able to establish ourselves.
So let's flip the sides of the ball and let's go to the defensive side. What did you see out of that game?
I think, as Coach Garcia said, one thing that we took away from the Coronado game was we had a bunch of young guys really step up. I would say most noteworthy would be Wyatt Morton, actually a freshman that stepped up and got a lot of playing time that game. I think he had a fumble recovery and he was tied for the lead in tackles that game. But he's one of those dudes, like he was saying, he shows up every day. We never have to worry about attendance, discipline, And then besides that, we had AJ Mojica. He's got a lot of playing time this year. He kind of put a lot together in that game, and just overall a lot of young guys getting great experience and kind of had a great game, I would say, against Coronado.
So when you have a younger guy, whether it's just for a game or for a whole season, or injuries happen, depth happens, and you guys have guys that step up. And when it's specifically a younger guy that you know is going to be there a couple of years in the program, do you ever pull them aside and say, hey, you've got a couple of years, you could really do something for the program, or do you just kind of let it happen organically? How do you approach that?
I would say just trying to get as much learning opportunities as you can. More so look at the mistakes they make as learning opportunities, and I think that's something that we did. I know we're definitely this offseason going to go back into the film with those guys, and I think the good thing about that group is they understand the offseason really isn't time off, and that's what we're definitely trying to get the whole group to understand. But that's what I think what we're going to try to revolve this offseason around, getting better and using last season as a learning opportunity for those guys.
Coach Garcia, I'll ask you the same thing. When you see a young guy, how do you approach that?
I kind of look at it as far as let it happen organically. Us as coaches, with them being young, they are going to make mistakes. And as long as they learn from those mistakes and are open to feedback and being coachable, that's all you could ask for from a student athlete. And as long as they realize, hey, missed opportunity here, but I learned from it, and let's just grow from there, the sky's the limit for a lot of these guys.
How would you guys describe you said coachable right there, and I was like the coachability of this year's team?
I think for the most part, on the offensive side of the ball, they've been very coachable. Mm-hmm. We were able to implement a lot of things. We showed quite a bit of different formations throughout the year, just to give different teams a different look here and there. But they have bought in, and I'm just coming in this week. I have a renewed sense of energy because I'm excited about what we can accomplish this offseason.
We're going to jump to our first break here on the Westerner Fan Zone. When we come back, let's take a look at some of the seniors, because obviously with the end of the season means you're going to be saying goodbye to some guys from your program. We'll start with there and keep going here on the Westerner Fan Zone. You have us on 100.7 The Score. Back with more next.
Breaking down Lubbock High sports. This is the Westerner Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the Westerner Fan Zone on 100.7 of The Score. We have Coach Garcia and Coach Fregia here in the First United Bank studio. Thank you for joining us. Happy Tuesday evening to you. And when we're going into the break, we tease talking about the seniors, and that's where we'll start. Coach Fregia, I'll start with you. What did this senior class bring to the table on and off the field?
I think when you immediately start talking about our seniors, I think of a good group of dudes, just from Charlie Hogan, Bryson Garza, Joe Rosendo, just showing up every day and being a great example for those younger guys. Like we talked about earlier, we had a lot of younger guys we had to count on, and that's not to take away from the job that the seniors we felt had all year, and that was to be those people they can look to and show them basically the path. And I feel like those guys I just mentioned, along with a bunch of other dudes we had, did a great job this year of working hard and really trying to bring those guys with them. Coach
Garcia, I'll just loft the same question to you as well.
Well, I think on the offensive side of the ball, when I think about our seniors, I had 3 on the offensive line, and Derek Torres, our wide receiver, who's going to be greatly missed. But just for Derek, just his work ethic, silent leader, but you knew what you were going to get out of him each and every day. The offensive line, my right guard, Joe Acuna, Sin Perez, our center, who unfortunately got hurt that second series in the Coronado game, and so we lost him early on. Hated to see that for him. And then we had Manny Espinoza, our left tackle. So all 3 of those guys are going to be greatly missed on the offensive line, especially after the year that we had running the ball. It was greatly contributed to them.
So as you'll say goodbye to them, and then next year, when you start the year back over, really, as you said in the off season when you're going, who are some of the guys that you guys are looking at to being like the next kind of clubhouse leaders, if you will?
I'll start with I think on the defensive side, some names that pop up. Jeremiah Acuna, he's the younger brother of Joe, the offensive lineman we lost. I think he is his potential, I think, is through the roof. I think he's definitely someone that we're going to count on. AJ Mujica, he got a lot of playing time this year, and he was kind of thrown in there in the fire. But I think he did a great job of stepping up and buying in every day. He's someone we really want to kind of evolve into that leader. If I had to choose, I'd say. And then besides that, we have a bunch of freshmen, truthfully. That freshman group we have, they do a great job throughout the year of stepping up and buying in, like I've said before. So overall, if we can just get everyone on the same page and working towards our goal, I think we'll be fine.
Who would you put down from the offensive side?
On the offensive side, next year I automatically go to our quarterback position. Zach Reyna did a good job for us this year. He got a little bit of experience last year, playing a little bit sparingly, but this year he ran the show. So this was his first full year under his belt. But I look for him to take a major jump, and not only as a quarterback, but definitely as a leader on the team going into next year.
We'll start on the offensive side for this one. On the flip side of that, and this could be a senior, this could be a freshman, you could be multiple guys. When you look at players that you guys think from the offensive and defensive side that took the biggest strides from game 1 to game 10, who jumps to mind there?
When I look at big jumps, I have to look at Joe, our right guard. When I look at where he was last year and just his maturity level and his commitment to the process this year, he definitely bought in, and he had a great season. Like I said, I hate that we're going to lose him, but I think it's definitely one of those things that sends a message to the younger guys that may not get it right now, but in time, if you buy in and commit to it, you can have some success.
Yeah. Let's go to the defense now.
I think I got to turn to another senior too. I think Charlie Hogan, he actually played defensive line last year, and last offseason, this time last year, we kind of made the move to switch him over to kind of that inside backer leader kind of guy. And I thought he did a great job stepping up this year. He ended up leading us in tackles, I want to say. But he was, our play caller. He kind of made sure the front was set. He made sure the coverage was in check. And he kind of took every responsibility that we gave him on the shoulders, and he kind of ran with it and did a great job, I thought.
We'll come back with one more. Show is flying by. It always does when you get going. One more with us here on the Westerner Fan Zone. You got us on 100.7 The Score. Back with more next.
Bringing you the latest news from Lubbock High Athletics. This is the Westerner Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is the Westerner Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. We're live from the First United Bank studio here. For one more, we have offensive coordinator Emilio Garcia and defensive coordinator Caden Fregia here in the First United Bank studio. Clint Scott in for Randy Rosetta. And let's take a look, peek now into the off season. I'll start on the offensive side. What are you looking to improve upon, and what are you trying to instill in the kids before next season?
I think just commitment to the process as far as what we have established this past year. And as long as we can continue to do that and improve on what we've already got laid out, I think we have a great run game that we can lean on. But like I mentioned, if we can establish that passing game to complement that run game, I think we can build off what we accomplished this year.
Same thing for the defense. What are you looking for here in the offseason?
Yeah, I think just like he said, buying into the process, just getting a great work ethic across our program. I feel like we mentioned it all year, but our mindset is always that we want to outwork everybody, and that's got to be our only option. I feel like if we can carry that through the entire offseason, I feel like we'll be in a really great place when it comes time to kick off next year.
Well, this is great that we have two guys on the staff because I can start asking some fun questions and see who you can pick apart. When you're looking at the staff that you're on, if you were going on a 2-on-2 fight and had to pick up somebody from the staff, who are you picking?
To be on my side?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to pick Anthony DeLeon. We call him Coach Fuji. He's my D-line coach, and I'll go to battle with that guy every day.
It seems safe picking a D-line coach.
That would be my first overall pick. I'm calling it right now.
What about you?
Let's see. From the offensive side of the ball, I'd have to go with Matthew Garcia. Not only just because he's my son, but I know that he'll just go all out. There's just nothing that would stop him when he's determined. So.
The team bonded by blood, that's hard to go up against.
Exactly.
So. All right, on the staff, worst music taste?
That's a tough one. You're making me throw someone under the bus like that. Man, if I had to pick somebody, the only reason I'll pick this guy is because I know he won't be mad at me. I'm gonna go Coach Rod. His taste might be a little too far back for me, before my time a little bit. I know he's got a great sense of humor. I know he won't be too mad at me for that. So I'm comfortable saying that.
What is it like being a part of Coach Rodriguez's staff?
It's a family atmosphere. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that he's said from day one was he wanted to establish that. And that's the one thing that I love working for him and being part of his staff is it's truly that. It is a family atmosphere. We have our moments to where, we fight, but brothers fight all the dang time. So that's the thing that I love about it is that at the end of the day, we can have our moments, but we're still just one collective unit.
We have time for just about one question for both of you guys to answer. But, when you guys are describing what you want the Lubbock High program to be and what you want other teams to say about you as you guys strive to reach those goals, what type of things do you want to hear about your program? Let's start on the offensive side.
I want them to, at the end of the game, realize that they were in a fight. Just that relentless go get them fight. We're never going to lay down for anybody, and we're going to give them all that we got for all 4 quarters.
And same thing there for the defense.
Yeah, I think we definitely want to be a team that when teams leave the field, they say that was a grinded out kind of game. And I think we know the only way to get there is we got to outwork everybody. I keep saying that, but that was our mindset, at least defensively. We tried to carry it through the season, but that's something I think, like I said earlier, if we can carry it through the off season, I think we can get to those goals that we want to reach.
Well, guys, good luck moving forward as you go into the off season. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight and giving us all your thoughts and comments. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That has been the Westerner Fan Zones. We were sitting down with offensive coordinator Emilio Garcia and defensive coordinator Caden Fregia, and we certainly appreciate their time, and we appreciate you tuning in. You can hear more tomorrow with Friendship, Lubbock, Cooper, and Liberty. Randy Rosetta will be back here in the First United Bank studio. We'll see you then. This has been the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.